Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you're all doing good. Tonight, of course, we're going to be hanging out for a couple of hours and we are going to be chatting about a bunch of different things that have happened over the past couple of days. I have some updates to situations as well, but there's been a lot of news that is released over the past 24 hours that I haven't gotten a chance to cover yet, and that I will probably end up making videos on quite a few of these topics tomorrow. But we're going to be chatting about Jeremy Renner. Of course, I'm sure that you all have heard the very unfortunate situation that happened to him, and we finally have some updates. So we're gonna, since I didn't make a video on the initial topic of the accident that he was in, I figured that we could cover that quickly. But there were some tweets made and some posts made with more details about the situation. So we're going to be chatting about that. We're going to be talking about Hogwarts Legacy. Now, I've been covering Hogwarts Legacy quite a lot, and we are only 2 months away from its release. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of news releasing about it since we're so close to release. But unfortunately for the JK haters and the social justice warriors in the industry, Hogwarts Legacy is already shaping up to be 2023's largest game release, which honestly isn't that surprising. Harry Potter has a massive fan base. JK has a very big fan base, even though she's controversial. And people love Harry Potter, and this is not the first, real Harry Potter game that we've gotten, because there have been others that have been good. But of course, it's the newest one, and we haven't gotten one for many, many years. So I think we all expected this game to do really well, but unfortunately for, again, the social justice warriors, the activists, the journalists, it looks like they're going to have to cover this game a lot more than they want to. We're going to be talking about Elden Ring, of course, one of my favorite games ever. And this is more of a side topic, but I thought it was fucking hilarious and we had to cover it. Elden Ring has surpassed The Last of Us 2 as the most awarded Game of the Year recipient. I am so happy. Fuck Naughty Dog. Screw The Last of Us 2. It was a trash game, awful experience, terrible title, and, well, Elden Ring is surpassing it, which is honestly kind of funny, because while, yes, consumers love Elden Ring, journalists really didn't want to love Elden Ring, and they really tried to, throw it under the bus and say, it's bad, it's got problems, even though it didn't work for them. And seeing it win, of course, so many awards, and now surpassing The Last of Us Part 2, it's just a great piece of news to start the new year off with. We're also going to be quickly chatting about Square Enix. I do plan to do a video on this tomorrow, so we're not going to cover it too in depth. As you guys know, Square Enix has several times now talked about their focus on NFTs. They really think that NFTs are the future of the industry. They really want to invest heavily in them, and they have faced a massive amount of backlash over that. But they decided in their New Year letter, their New Year's developer letter, to double down and say that they are aggressively investing in NFT games. And I feel like this is just the worst thing that they could do, because they twice now have released big, long statements on NFTs and how they think it's the future, and both times they have gotten absolutely roasted over it. People absolutely hate their plans for their NFT games, and they've decided to double down. And of course, they are now facing a ton more backlash over it, which honestly, they deserve. I like a lot of Square Enix games. I have played a lot on the channel. I talk about them a lot, but it's just unfortunate that they have been making very bad decisions. They don't really care about what we want. They don't really care about the feedback that we're giving them, and they are just continuing on down this path that I just think is not the way to go. We're also going to be talking about the anime industry. I saw this earlier and knew that we had to chat about it again. I think that I'll probably do a full video on this tomorrow. But the anime industry just posted its highest profits since 2002. Now, going into 2022, it was said that the anime industry was probably going to have a tough time, like a lot of industries, because, of course, the pandemic was going on / ending. People didn't think that a lot of industries were going to get back to normal. It was forecasted that it would take the anime industry 2 to 3 years to kind of get back on track. Because, of course, they did see profit declines in 2021, but, well, that didn't happen, and they blew past the expectations that were kind of set for them, and they have now posted their highest profits since 2002, which I think is fucking great. Also, with the report, there was a list revealed of the top 10 most profitable anime IPs of 2022, which we'll probably end up chatting about quickly, but I'm gonna be honest, I feel like a lot of them you'd be able to guess, you know, One Piece, Spy X Family, Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia. Like, they're not crazy IPs that you wouldn't expect. It's not like we're missing some giant chunk of information here. I mean, you all can probably guess them pretty easily. But yeah, we're also going to be chatting about Geralt's voice actor, because Geralt's voice actor from the video games criticized Netflix and the Witcher shows and said that he doesn't understand the choice to, you know, not fight for Henry Cavill, and he doesn't understand why they decided to deviate so severely from the source material. Absolute Chad. I mean, I'm glad that he decided to come out and basically slam Netflix, because Netflix does need to be kind of pushed into their place, and I think that this is hilarious. But I have said for quite a while now that it was a massive mistake for Netflix to not hire people that worked on the game. Maybe not him, but, like, you know, writers and creatives. And unfortunately, Netflix doesn't really care about these people's feedback. But I just think it makes them look even worse, because even the voice actor for this character, this loved character, is trashing your product. Yet that still doesn't look good. Again, they probably don't really care all that much, but as a consumer, I'm happy. I mean, I will take anybody trashing these awful series any day. Another $4,000 incident? No. Not another Bayonetta. Luckily, but, well, you know, who knows? Maybe one day we'll get another situation like that. I still think that it's kind of funny that Helena Taylor goes on social media and she tries really hard to be, like, relatable, and I like Helena Taylor's work. I've said this many times. I think that she is a good voice actress. I think that she is very good at her job. She played the character very well, and I would love to see her voice Bayonetta again. I don't think that that's going to happen, but she didn't do what she should have done. You know, a month before release of Bayonetta 3, she shouldn't have come out and told people to boycott the game. She should have been honest about pay numbers at the beginning. She just kind of ruined her image, but we don't need to talk about her, because then we're all just gonna get sad. But yeah, Hi guys, welcome to the live stream. I hope that your evening is going well. If this is the first time I've seen you in the new year, hello. Hope 2023 is going good for you. It's been a mess, it seems, so far. Wow. It has been not so good past few days for, I feel like, the general population. But, well, we're only 3 days in. So no NFTs from Vara in the future? Absolutely not. Unless I get paid like $1 million to do an NFT collection, and then I can do a bunch of shit with that money for the channel, then there's no way. Then, you know, I'd chill. Because afterwards, I'd be able to tell you guys I was chilling. And we made bank off of it. And then I can do bigger things for the channel. But that's not going to happen. Here in the EU, Sony artificially increased God of War sales by only selling PS5s in store. If you pay $70 or more with the bundle, that's $619 total, which is BS. Really? Do you know about like an article on that? I hadn't heard about that. I'll have to look into it. Man, she basically nuked herself. A series of bad decisions. It was catastrophic for her career. Again, I like her work. I think that she's a good VA. But when you lie to people and you try to, you know, hide the truth, I'm sorry. You deserve to get fucking roasted over it. And of course, she did get roasted over it. But she did very much so deserve that. I'm disappointed with her, you know, because she's a big voice actress. People know her. Her character's really well known, and then she had to go and pull that shit. But alright, guys. We're going to start off with the Jeremy Renner situation. Now, this is going to be a relatively quick topic because, of course, I'm sure you all know the general situation that was announced yesterday, but I still wanted to bring it up. Unfortunately, 2023 has started off abysmally for Jeremy Renner because he is in critical condition after a snowplow accident. Now, there have been some updates, which we will read in a few minutes, but the initial situation says he is in critical but stable condition after suffering a weather-related accident involving plowing snow, where, of course, he is now hospitalized. It says, we can confirm he is in a critical but stable condition with injuries suffered after experiencing a weather-related accident while plowing snow earlier today. Now, this is obviously a very fucking terrible situation, but more details have come out about this, and I'd like to make it very well known that I don't wish, you know, physical pain on the people that I even hate. But sometimes we make mistakes in life. And this is just a very poor decision on his part. 'Cause we finally have some more information about what happened. It says the police confirmed that his 14,330-pound snowcat plow ran him over, which of course is just, oh my fucking god. But it came after he attempted to get back into the plow after it began rolling forward. Again, it is a terrible situation that happened to him, and this is really fucking terrible. But I'm pretty sure when, you know, you go to, like, driving school and you're taking courses, one of the first things that they tell you is never try to get into a moving vehicle. I don't think that they ever tell you, especially a 14,000-pound snowcat plow. But it does sound like there was some very bad judgment on his part. Yeah. he tried to get into the moving vehicle and unfortunately was not so successful. Now, we don't know how exactly this happened, because of course, you know, snowcat plows, they have very wide, like, steps that you step on the sides, but I had read some theories, and it seems like maybe, and this does seem kind of realistic, again, only speculation, that because of course it's snowing, it's icy, he slipped off of it, and then he wasn't able to move his leg in time. Again, very awful situation, and obviously, I hope that he recovers soon. I cannot even imagine. There was also an update that I'm assuming one of his family members had posted on social media. Yeah, it says, thank you all for your kind words. I'm too messed up now to type, but I send love to you all. And it was a picture of him, of course, in the hospital bed. So, you know, he is conscious, which is good. But definitely not a good way to start off the new year. Once we, you know more kind of information, I'll obviously probably talk about it more. But yeah, I do believe that he probably, lost his balance. Again, it's icy, it's snowing, maybe he slipped and then it happened. But it does sound like, you know, some bad judgment on his part. But, yeah, that's just an awful situation. And obviously, I hope that he gets better soon. Because that is not good. Yeah, we don't know what happened exactly to his leg, but it's being reported that one of his legs was crushed. So one would assume that the bones in one of his leg are shattered. Sorry if you're a little squeamish. But we don't know the severity. We don't know where on the leg it happened. Because originally, I was reading that it was only his ankle and like a tiny bit above his ankle. Some say it was really high. We don't know. We're not gonna know for a while. But yeah, really shitty situation. Yeah, it does seem like he panicked, and that, I mean, obviously I think a lot of people would. I mean, a 14,000 pound plow, you know, starting to roll forward. I think that, yes, a lot of people would be like, oh shit, I really have to try to stop this. But unfortunately, he was not able to get into it quick enough and safely. Yes, yeah, that was, some of the wording was severe blood loss, which does not sound like, you know, a little fracture, one little break. That sounds like, very bad. That sounds very severe, but again, we don't really know. We're not gonna know. I'm sure in the next, like, couple of days, his family will probably release like a full statement, just because, again, there was only 2 sentences posted on his social media today. That's the only information that we really heard, and the only information we're really gonna hear. And this police report was released that he did try to get into it even though it was rolling forward. So yeah, obviously when we get more information, I'll update you guys, but for now, that's all that we really know. Isn't there an emergency brake to pull before you exit the vehicle? Yes. Yeah. All of these large machines, I mean, even normal cars have emergency brakes. And one of the things that you learn is that when it's really, really snowy and stormy and crappy, you're supposed to, you know, use that brake before you get out of a vehicle. But, you know, we don't know the details, so I don't want to sit here and say, like, he's a dumbass, he didn't know how to use it. But it seems like there's a lot of questions that we don't have answered at this point. This sucks. I hope he feels better soon. But who knows? Darwin Award candidate. Well, listen. He's hurt. We're not gonna make fun of him. But I just want everybody to come together as a community and never make fun of me for my driving ever again. Because whenever you do, I'm gonna say Jeremy Renner. I'm sorry. I've just gotta be honest. Reports Hogwarts is delayed till April. Like 2 months ago, they announced that the last gen versions of the game were being delayed until April, not the PC or the new gen consoles, unless something new was just released. But back at the end of November or early December, they announced that it's the last gen versions are delayed. Yeah, I don't think it's fair to call him a dumbass. I have seen a lot of people being very harsh on social media against his decision making, and I don't really think that that's fair to say. I think a lot of people probably would freak the fuck out if a 14,000-pound plow was, you know, moving forward and it was yours, because somebody could get seriously hurt. But, you know, it just seems like maybe some precautions were not taken. But yeah, we will cover this more when we have more information, but for now, that's all that we really know about it. So, we're gonna move into the next topic in a minute. Thank you, Autobots, for the $5 super chat. Not entering or exiting. Listen, Autobots, listen. Typing, my friend. Not entering or exiting a moving vehicle isn't something that should need to be taught. He almost won himself a Darwin Award. He deserves at least like a pin for it. But thank you for the 5, and thank you, Warhammers, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Titans. Thank you for becoming a Bronze Titan and supporting the channel. Much appreciated. Thank you. Wow, you're really going to keep roasting the guy? What do you mean I'm going to keep roasting the guy? I've said like 5 times. First of all, we're not even on the page anymore. And second of all, I said we shouldn't be roasting him. Jeez, learn to listen. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I mean, people have been very harsh on social media. I don't think that that's completely fair. I don't think that it's super fair. But, yeah, that's how it goes. But alright, guys. Next, we are going to be talking about Hogwarts Legacy. So I've been covering Hogwarts a lot on the channel. I know everybody's got kind of mixed opinions on JK, and that's fine. You know, I've talked about it many times, but it's hard to fully defend her because I do genuinely believe Chris is laughing at me. I don't know why. Cool story, bro. Who asked? I get why it's hard to defend JK because years and years ago, she tried to be a massive SJW. She changed her work to appeal to these people. She's a feminist. That's her opinion. But, you know, I do believe that everybody is allowed to have their own opinions. If I agree or disagree with them, it doesn't matter. I think that you should be allowed to have your opinions, and people think that she isn't allowed to have her own opinions because they don't like them. But unfortunately for the JK haters, things are not looking good for them because Hogwarts Legacy is already shaping up to be 2023's biggest game, which honestly isn't that surprising. Harry Potter fans have been itching for a new game, for new content in general. And, I mean, a couple of months ago when they put up the pre-orders for the collector's edition, they sold out in minutes. And they put out, I believe it was 2 waves of the collector's editions, or 3, but each wave sold out in minutes. People were so excited to, you know, be able to get their hands on it when the game releases. So, we know that this game, and the boycotts that it's facing, the boycotts, are not working, so far are not successful, and yeah, it is now shaping up to be 2023's biggest release. Now, before we read this article, I think it's kind of funny, because this is posted, and, well, guys, well, it's posted by GG Recon, but they recently posted an article just bashing this game. JK called out for mocking trans gamers over Hogwarts Legacy, seemingly unable to learn when the right time is to zip it and say nothing. JK has once again waded into the row of trans rights on Twitter, just kind of, you know, attacking JK, and I thought it was kind of funny because now they have to admit that this is going to be the largest game release of the year. But it says, is it ever too early to start talking about Game of the Year? We're just days into 2023, but that hasn't stopped us from looking at what could be this year's Elden Ring or God of War Ragnarok. We've already got a pretty stacked year thanks to Tears of the Kingdom, which is Zelda, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and Starfield, even though we've gotten no information about Starfield, and I have this gut feeling it's going to be delayed until 2024, are all set to be major sellers, but apparently Hogwarts Legacy should be the one that we're looking out for. I think that if all of these... Okay, let me word this. I don't think all of these games are going to release this year. I genuinely don't. And if all of them release this year, I don't think that Hogwarts Legacy will be the largest seller. If half of these games release, or even one of them is cut, I think that Hogwarts Legacy will win. Harry Potter has a massive fan base behind it. People have been looking for a new game to delve into, and I think that Hogwarts Legacy could be the game that people are really going to immerse themselves with. But I think if all of these games listed here do release, I don't think that Hogwarts Legacy will beat them, like Starfield. If Starfield comes out this year, I don't think that Legacy will beat it. And I'm not judging actual content here. I'm saying for sales and the companies behind these games. I think that Starfield would beat it. Just because it's Bethesda, new IP, people are really excited, it's supposed to be big, flashy, go, go, go. I just think that if Starfield released, it might beat it. But obviously, as I've said, I'm very excited for Hogwarts Legacy. I will be streaming it on release day. I'm fucking pumped for it. I like Harry Potter. I've never been like a Harry Potter, obsessed individual, but I can recognize good content, and this game looks pretty freaking solid so far. So, anyway, moving on. It says, will Hogwarts Legacy be 2023's biggest game? I'm curious, for those of you who are in chat, what game are you most excited for to release this year out of this list? You know, I mean, on this list isn't even like Hollow Knight, Silksong. There's so many fucking games that are releasing this year that look awesome. Out of this list, Tears of the Kingdom, which is Zelda, Star Wars, Starfield, Hogwarts Legacy. I'm gonna put up a poll. Just again, off of these, I mean, I could sit here and go on and on and on and on about upcoming games and games that might be good. Hogwarts Legacy, Jedi Survivor, Zelda, Starfield. I truly think that if Zelda releases this year, or if Starfield releases this year, I think that Hogwarts Legacy could be beat by them. I mean, I think that it will sell really fucking well, though. Right, like Final Fantasy 16 isn't on this list. Hollow Knight Silksong isn't on this list. I mean, there are a ton of games that are not here that, in my opinion, could be games of the year. Yeah, like Starfield, Final Fantasy 16, Silksong, Diablo 4, even though Blizzard, Diablo 4 though, like Spider-Man 2, I mean, Lies of P. I have my list of games. Like, those are just some of the games releasing this year that could be fucking massive. It says, though, as spotted by comicbook.com, Legacy is brewing up more than just Polyjuice Potion over on Amazon. The game is currently #1 in terms of best-selling PlayStation 5 games, which, again, isn't really that surprising. This isn't bad, especially considering it won't be swishing and flicking its way onto the new-gen consoles until February 10th. Hogwarts Legacy is currently clear of other PlayStation 5 games, like Midnight Suns and Sonic Frontiers, which, it's not really surprising. If a game is going to be a #1 seller, it's going to be now, because the game comes out on February 10th, and in order to get it on release day from Amazon, you have to pre-order it in the next week. They failed to mention that. When the game actually comes out, I think that it would hit #1 again, but before that, I mean, it's really no surprise to see that it's #1 now. It also says across the board it's selling well. The PlayStation 4 charts have it in 8th place, while the Series X has it in 3rd. Like I mentioned, the last-gen versions, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One versions, were delayed until April, so you're not, unfortunately, going to be able to play the game for a couple months if you don't have the newest consoles or a PC. But, you know, at least it's coming out on everything else on February 10th, at the beginning of the year. It says, it's been a tumultuous road to Hogwarts Legacy, and at one point we weren't sure we'd ever see the wizarding world come to life in its current form. I'm sorry, but if you really didn't think they were going to make another Harry Potter Hogwarts-themed game, you're fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean, but I think everybody knew that we were going to see a Harry Potter game or a Hogwarts-themed game at some point in the near future. That's like saying, like, oh, we're not gonna get another Star Wars game, or another Marvel game, or another Zelda game, or another Mario game. Of course we are. Even though there hasn't been a Harry Potter game in a couple of years, someone was going to make it at some point in the near future. I'm sorry, you're dumb. It says, if footage of the game, from the game being leaked back in 2018 wasn't enough, it has been shunted several times. Yeah, it's been delayed, but what hasn't been delayed? It says it was originally supposed to release in 2021, and then 2022, and then now February 10th. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like, everything's been delayed, and I hate that. I wish that companies would just shut the fuck up and not put a release date on anything if they don't actually have a release date. Like, if you know you're not going to be able to make February 10th, then don't announce it's coming out February 10th. I know you want to hit that deadline, but don't announce something until you're, like, almost ready to go. That's like George R. R. Martin talking about fucking Winds of Winter 5 years ago, and last month he was like, it's 3/4 done. Shut the fuck up, George. But don't get people excited for something if it's not created. Yeah, unfortunately, everything has been delayed. I mean, what hasn't been delayed recently? We just all hoped that it wouldn't become an Intellivision Amico, meaning it's never gonna come out. It says, although there's been plenty of positive press for Hogwarts Legacy, let's not forget the dark mark that's hung over the game thanks to JK's outspoken stance on the transgender community. Again, She's allowed to have her own opinions. I may not agree with all of her opinions or every single thing she's ever said. I don't really think that there's that dark of a mark over Harry Potter and Hogwarts Legacy because people want her content. It's just the way that it goes. Yeah, there are people out there who hate her and hate her stances, and that's fine. You're allowed to hate her and her stances, but they're her opinions, and she's allowed to have them. And clearly people really aren't boycotting this game because, as I mentioned, the collector's edition sold out in minutes. It's #1 on Amazon right now. People are getting ready for release in a month. That's just the way that it goes. But yeah, guys, that's all that I really had to discuss with that. Right now, Hogwarts Legacy is on track to become, potentially, 2023's largest game release of the year. And, well, talking about that game of the year, we have another game of the year situation to talk about with Elden Ring. Yay! Something good. Some positive news to start 2023 off with. Elden Ring beating the shit out of Last of Us 2. That is something that we can come together as a community to celebrate. Also, yeah, Hogwarts Legacy's at 27%. Zelda's at 24%, Starfield's at 30%, and Jedi Survivor is at 18%. So, yeah, Starfield. I still think that Starfield, if it does release this year, it will be bigger than Hogwarts Legacy. Maybe not by much, but I definitely think that it would be slightly larger of a release. I'm excited to see Lies of P, not gonna lie. I am too. My most hyped up games of the year, the ones that I'm excited for the most, are Lies of P, Final Fantasy 16, Hollow Knight, Starfield, I was trying to think of 5, and then Hogwarts Legacy. There are a lot of games that I'm very excited for that have not been technically announced for this year, even though developers said they were going to release this year. I'm just hoping that we will see a lot of good game releases this year, but we probably won't. Yeah, Lies of P looks like it might be one of the best games of the year. I don't think that it would win. I think it would be like a Stray. Like, we all really love it, but there's something that's just slightly better than it, and if it had released any other year, it would be the game of the year. Yeah, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is Fallen Order 2, is supposed to come out this year. But we've only seen one teaser for it, so it still might not. The poll was very close. I will say that. I was 27% Legacy to 30% Starfield. But that's the thing, is I do feel like if you asked like 100,000 people, it would be very close. I don't think that those numbers are off just because there were only 50 votes on it. I do think that they'd be pretty close. Yeah, No Man's Sky is already out. Oh wait, that's Starfield. George Martin, I'm excited to announce I'm going to finally finish my book after I work on 7 more projects. Yeah, hey, listen, George. Listen, George. I will forgive you if you get off your fat ass and work on Elden Ring 2. I'll forgive. I can wait another 10 years for Winds of Winter. It's my priorities, I know where my priorities lie. I would take an Elden Ring 2 over Winds of Winter. I'm sorry. And I don't think they really need him for an Elden Ring 2. But if you're going to work on anything, work on ER2. I will forgive you. Maybe we'll never get Winds of Winter then. If that happens, that's just the bed that I have to lie in. I made my decision. He should put up a poll like Elon Musk and have his, like, millions and millions of followers vote on it and leave it up for, like, a week. And after the end of the week, he's like, this is the next project I'm gonna work on. Yeah, no, they don't really need him for Elden Ring 2, but, like, if there's anything that he would delay Winds of Winter for, if it happened to be Elden Ring 2, I'd forgive him. I don't think we'll get Winds of Winter. I disagree. I think we will get Winds of Winter, but I think after Winds of Winter, he will pick someone to finish the books. He will have another author picked and ready to go that's going to work with him on it, even though that writer's just going to finish the series. He'll be dead in 10 years. There's a chance. But then if he really does have 3/4 of the book done, then he could easily get someone to finish them. Or finish it. Well, the problem is that it's like 1,200 pages. I don't know, maybe he should just put a the end on where the 3/4 is done. Then we've got 800 pages. He should just put the end on it. Everybody dies in an explosion. The end. Because then at least we'd get the book. But, yeah, he must have accidentally deleted all of his work. Yeah, no Toy Story 2 situation for him, where some executive stole it on her PC and then ended up saving the film. But alright, guys, next we're going to be talking about Elden Ring, speaking about George R.R. Martin. Elden Ring has surpassed The Last of Us 2 as the most awarded Game of the Year recipient. We truly are blessed. Screw Naughty Dog, screw The Last of Us 2, screw Neil Druckmann. This is the news that we want for 2023. It says Elden Ring has surpassed The Last of Us 2's total Game of the Year awards. Everybody clap in chat. That's according to researchers who have compiled Elden Ring's total Game of the Year awards and deduced that From Software's latest currently sits at a staggering 324 wins, and that officially beats The Last of Us Part 2's awards, which totaled 322 back in 2020. Now, of course, every game journalist out there has given, Last of Us Part 2 fake reviews, so it's probably at like 700 reviews now. But these are official, so technically, okay, we gotta take this as a win. We have to spin this story to make us feel good inside. Technically, Elden Ring's Game of the Year awards total has beaten The Last of Us 2, which honestly is just so good to hear, because it's so much of a better game. I mean, Last of Us 2, I do not care. I would give up The Last of Us 2 for almost anything. Especially Elden Ring. It says, taking a slightly deeper look at things, it appears to have won a grand total of 281 awards from media outlets. Additionally, the action RPG took home 43 awards from polls voted on by audiences rather than media outlets. All told, that's 324 awards. Interestingly enough, The Last of Us 2 took home more Reader's Choice Awards around 2 years ago, with 108 awards bagged from audiences. That doesn't sound right. Media outlets' Game of the Year awards totaled 195 for Naughty Dog's sequel, though ultimately putting it well below Elden Ring in that category, at least. Yeah, that doesn't sound suspicious at all. Surely. It says Elden Ring looks to have absolutely dominated Game of the Year voting around the world for 2022, leaving God of War Ragnarok in the dust at 74 total awards. Now, I've said it. I think that God of War Ragnarok was good. I live streamed it on the channel. I thought that it was really good. And hey, if this had released another year where it wasn't against something like Elden Ring, I think that it could have been a solid Game of the Year. But there was no way that I was going to vote for Ragnarok over Elden Ring. I think that God of War has good story elements. It's got some good character development. But it's very cookie cutter. You know, it's what you'd expect from a AAA, you know, Sony game. It's very go from one location to another. Talk to this character. They're gonna make you feel bad for them and you're gonna like them. Oh, and then they're gonna die and then you're gonna feel depressed. But then the heroes are gonna win at the end. It's just very cookie cutter. And Elden Ring just wasn't. Yes, it was combat-wise more cookie cutter for the Dark Souls or just Souls genre in general, but the story was different. There was a massive amount of different unique weapons. And overall, in my opinion, it was just a fantastic game and much better than God of War Ragnarok. That's just the way that it goes. But yeah, I wanted to read this for you guys quickly because I thought it was hilarious. But Elden Ring has now surpassed The Last of Us 2 as the most awarded Game of the Year recipient. Now, what will be funny is I'd give it like 4 days maybe. By the end of the week, we'll see if the media tries to spin this or not. Now, this is a Games Radar article. They didn't try to spin it in any way like, oh, well, technically, you know, Last of Us 2 surpassed it with this and that. That didn't happen. But I bet that a group like Kotaku would try to spin this like, well, the reason why Last of Us 2 only got beat now is because toxic gamers tried to troll them. They wanted something to beat Last of Us 2 and Elden Ring just happened to be the vessel for their means, you know? I feel like that is something that we'd hear straight out of Kotaku, so we'll see. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just say, wow, people really like this game. That's awesome. Cool. I just have a feeling we'll see at least one article try to spin it like, toxic gamer bros hate The Last of Us 2 because of its diversity and inclusivity. And they decided to support Elden Ring because it's made by toxic assholes. Because don't forget, these same people tried to say that, you know, From Software was sexist because Melania was a hard boss fight and they only made it a hard boss fight because she's a woman. People are crazy. Yeah, Polygon, Kotaku, any of them. But yeah, we're gonna move on in just a second. This is gonna be a very quick topic because I'm going to cover this in a video, so I'm going to make you guys watch the video, so you're only going to hear some of my opinions now. But Square Enix is up to their typical bullshit again. There wasn't any 4-hour yak rides in Elden Ring, though. That's true. But, well, you know, everything's, some things you just have to sacrifice experiences. Elden Ring, they didn't feel like that was necessary. They just made you hate the game by not giving torrents a reverse. So yeah. To be fair, women did ruin quite a bit. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Chris, time yourself out for 300 seconds, okay? Toxic. You are being toxic, okay? 300 seconds in the slammer, Chris. Okay. So guys, Square Enix has, of course, said that they are focused on NFTs. They love NFTs. The NFT games are the future of the industry. And we have heard them release 2 big statements supporting NFTs, saying it's the future of gaming, they love them, they're investing heavily in them. Square Enix has decided to release a 3rd statement, saying that they are aggressively investing in NFT games despite the massive backlash that they've faced. And I've talked about Square Enix investing in NFTs many times on the channel. And every time they have faced a massive amount of backlash, and you'd think at this point they'd be like, you know what, people hate this idea, so let's not do it. But they actually don't give a singular fuck. Thank you, Bandit, for becoming a Bronze Titan. Welcome to the Dark Titans, and thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. Square Enix is aggressively investing in NFT games despite the backlash. They just do not know when to hit it and quit it. They just do not understand their consumers. It says, Final Fantasy developer and gaming behemoth Square Enix has been heavily criticized for its plans to add NFTs to its upcoming games, but the company's New Year letter shows that instead of halting efforts, it's aggressively doubling down. The worst thing that they could do, they do. Come on. Come on. In this annual New Year letter, the Square Enix president or representative explains that despite a somber string of news stories surrounding NFTs in 2022, the company is still plowing cash into the controversial currency. If you release a game that has NFTs, it's going to fail. I mean, people are going to boycott it. People are going to hate you. It is just the worst decision possible. And they don't actually give a fuck. In terms of new business domains, we named 3 focus investment fields under our medium-term business plan. Among those, we are most focused on blockchain entertainment, to which we have devoted aggressive investment and business development efforts. While he concedes that NFTs and blockchain have been the subject of a lot of negative press since their inception, he writes that Square Enix has been keeping a steady eye on these environmental changes while considering from a higher level perspective what Web 3.0 and blockchain entertainment are actually all about. Now, listen. This is just like the worst statement that they could have made in the history of bad statements for them. This is the worst NFT statement they've made so far. We are, keeping an eye on what it's actually about. Maybe behind the scenes, you guys see a better way to make NFTs work, but I, as the consumer, don't. You're not selling a product to yourself, you're selling a product to me. If I currently, with the way that NFTs are, hear about an NFT system being in a game, I'm out. I'm tapping out. I'm not gonna support it. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna play it. It's as simple as that. And maybe behind the scenes you see it being really big and awesome and there's different ways it can be implemented. I, as the consumer, don't see that. I think it's hilarious how there's just aggressively doubling down here. They don't understand. People are calling you out because it's a bad business decision. A somber string of news stories. Yeah, because NFTs are not good. They're not something that people want to support. So while you think people will get over it and eventually accept NFTs being in games, it is not going that way right now. People are fighting their hardest against games with NFTs and just NFTs in general. You'd think that over the past year, seeing so many negative news stories release about NFTs, you'd think that they would understand and be like, you know what, we're actually not gonna do this. Maybe in a couple years it'll be ready. And I understand that companies always want to try new things and get ahead, but you're not getting ahead when you're losing consumers because you're making bad decisions. I personally do not like NFTs. I am not sold on the ideas of NFTs being in video games. But yeah, I wanted to read you all their update because they are really stupid. Maybe one day they'll find a good way to implement NFTs into games. I don't see it yet. And I don't trust them. I'm sorry. Square Enix has made some very bad decisions. over the past couple of years. It's like they're doing everything that consumers don't want them to do. They're censoring games, they're stifling creativity, they're, you know, doubling down on things like NFTs and blockchain titles and all of these things that people do not want, do not like, and do not support. And they think that, wow, this is going to keep consumers around. Sure, you go for it. You can try that. Let's see how it works out then. If you want to play a dumb game, you deserve to win dumb prizes. And that's what they're going to get. So, yeah, guys, Square Enix is up to their typical bullshit. Next, we're going to quickly chat about Geralt and Netflix and The Witcher and more bad decisions. TwitchVera in the alternate universe is probably selling NFTs. Oh, hell yeah. Probably. I mean, NFTs do make companies money. Some companies and some NFTs in specific situations. Somewhere out there, someone made a Vera NFT. Maybe. Only time will tell. Maybe we'll see it one day. But yeah. TwitchVera has lavender hair. Well, TwitchVera would have to be a massive SJW. And I really don't see a lot of SJWs with purple hair. Usually it's blue or green. And probably other colors I'm definitely not thinking about. Not lavender, though. Thank you, Raj, for the $1.99 super chat. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. To be honest, I'm happy Henry Cavill got out. Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult situation because I like Henry Cavill, and I think that he is a great Geralt, and he's a good actor, but I don't see a way that they could save The Witcher on Netflix. And for anyone who might be new here or hasn't listened to my videos on The Witcher, when I'm talking about The Witcher right now, I'm not talking about the video games. I'm not talking about the books. I love the novels and the video games. They're freaking amazing. But I don't see a way that Netflix can fix their Witcher. Dr. Rhino, thank you for the $2 super chat. Any guidance on what I can do to improve content? What do you mean, like on YouTube? Just enjoy yourself. That's the only really piece of advice I can give, but thank you for the 2. So, Geralt's voice actor from, of course, the video games has said the Witcher Netflix writers deviated severely from the source material. Now, I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, but I didn't need him to tell me that. I don't think most of us really needed to be told that. I think we all figured that out. But the reason why this is so important is because this is someone who has played this character for years. Someone who is passionate about this character. I mean, he has voiced Geralt since the beginning of the video game franchise in 2007. So it says Doug, who has played Geralt since, you know, the first Witcher game launched, has commented on Netflix series casting shakeup following Henry Cavill's departure and the announcement of Liam Hemsworth taking over. Like Chris said, I like Henry Cavill a lot. I think he's a great Geralt. But the shows are just bad. A Blood Origin is one of the worst shows of the year, just fucking in general. But when it comes to the base show or the mothership show, it's difficult because they're not great. You know, the first 2 seasons are not great. They stray away from source material. They create new situations. The pacing of the show is really wonky and off. The CGI in the first season was pretty god-awful. But there were a lot of good moments. There were a lot of moments that I still liked, I thought paid off, and I still like the first 2 seasons, even though they're not perfect. But the problem is that they're getting rid of Henry Cavill as Geralt, they're continuing to stray away from source material, and now it seems, because of the end of Blood Origin, spoiler alert, that they are doing a parallel universe storyline. So we don't really know what they're going to do for right now, but it just seems like they're still headed down a slippery slope. That looks like Vera. Who does? Triss? No. She's too pretty. Discount Hemsworth? He is. He is. He's not the good Hemsworth. Yes, Amazon made Wheel of Time. Amazon made... Jesus Christ. Rings of Power. And they are now doing Warhammer, which is worrying. It says, though, Henry hasn't said it himself yet, but the chat says that he's leaving because he doesn't agree with the storylines the writers have been developing, and if that's the case, I completely understand that, because Henry is such a huge fan of the games and the books, and the writers on the Netflix series have chosen, for whatever reason, to deviate quite severely from the books and the games. Whether that's good or not is down to what you like. I personally don't understand the choices. I think that's why Henry's leaving. Liam, more power to him. I do not envy him. Big shoes to fill. I've said this for months at this point. They should not have announced Liam replacing Henry on the same day they officially said Henry was leaving, because not only is everybody riled up and worked up over the fact that Henry's leaving, but then you're adding fuel to the fire talking about who's gonna replace him. That was just like the worst way they could have handled the situation possible. But yeah, I do not envy Liam Hemsworth. I don't think anyone would. I think it's gonna be shit for him. I think that he how do I want to say this without being so mean? I don't think that he's a A-list actor, or a B, or even really a C, but I think that he could play a character in The Witcher, just not Geralt, and I do not think there's any possible way that he could replace Henry Cavill, and I think that this show there's no way to save it. I mean, unless they got Henry Cavill back magically, which of course isn't gonna fucking happen, I don't see a way that they could save this show. Blood Origin is god-awful. Witcher-based show is just, it's going in a wacky direction. And I do think that it's pretty great that this voice actor, who, again, has played Geralt for years and years and years, is calling Netflix out, saying that they did deviate severely from the source material. I think, obviously, we all can see that. We don't need somebody telling us that at this point. But I still think that it's really good to see him coming out and acknowledging, you know, what is happening, and honestly supporting Henry Cavill, because even though Henry is gone and he will sadly not play this character anymore, I think that it's still great. And I think, now, this is just me, I think CD Projekt Red should give Netflix the middle finger. They've already started doing that. So in the Witcher 3 update that came out a couple of weeks ago, they added a dog into the game, and his name was Cal, I believe, which is Henry Cavill's dog's name. And they added with the Witcher TV show armor, and they added like just like some hints and, you know, kind of teasers for the show. I think CD Projekt Red should give Netflix the middle finger, and they should hire Henry Cavill for a game. Whether it is like a mod, basically, and they hire him to voice act over the whole base Witcher 3 game. If they do a small side DLC and they have Henry Cavill voice Geralt, I think that CD Projekt Red should do that. And I think that that would piss Netflix off, but it would make Witcher fans extremely happy. I don't know. Just my 2 cents. I think that they should do that. But, yeah. Geralt voice actor is defending Henry Cavill. Geralt's gotta stick together in this world. And, he said that, well, Netflix's writers deviated severely from the source material, and he's not surprised to hear that is the reason why Henry Cavill decided to leave the show. CD Projekt Red is now woke. They are, behind the scenes, a bit woke. I do not think it is fair, though, in my opinion, to say that they have gone completely to the dark side, and they still do listen to consumers. That, for me, is kind of the largest takeaway. Companies can be kind of woke behind the scenes, but if they listen to consumers, that's what matters to me. And they have listened to consumers. Like, they've put years of work into Cyberpunk at this point. They've made a lot of changes that fans have asked for. They've added DLC to games like The Witcher that people have asked for. I mean, don't you remember all of the controversy they faced with Cyberpunk when it initially released? I mean, people were mad about that poster. Do you remember the poster where it was a female figure standing and, you know, there was an interesting situation in her pants, and of course, people were freaking out saying, oh my god, that's disgusting of you that you promote something like that. You fetishize it, I believe was the word that the social justice warriors used, all of that. And they didn't remove it because most people said you shouldn't remove it. So I just think that it's a difficult situation because they are definitely a bit woke. I don't think it's fair to say that they're not at all, but I don't think that they've gone completely to the dark side. So yeah. Hello, JDA. Hope your evening is going well. Can The Witcher? I think that they probably should just set it and forget it at this point. I don't see a way that they can make these shows good. I don't see a way that they can save it at this point. I saw a boob and cried game journalists everywhere. Actually true, though. They are very offensive, and we shouldn't see those anymore in anything, clearly. I'd pay to see that, Vera, at this point. Anything to do without Netflix writers would make any Witcher fan happy. Oh yeah, I definitely agree, but I think a lot of people would pay to see some kind of Henry Cavill content in the video games. Again, even if it's just like a short DLC that they have him voice, or maybe they do some kind of like standalone experience, like a short, I wouldn't say like a full video game, but maybe like a narrative type experience. I just think that there's a lot of things that they could do that people would be very happy for and would monetarily support. But alright guys, next we are going to be talking about the anime industry as one of the final topics of the evening. Good news here. Thank you, Bandit, for the $5 super chat. I think Cavill could bring in a team of WH fans that meets Amazon. Oh, Warhammer, okay. That meets Amazon's diversity quota because there are 40k fans all over the world. I don't know what they're going to do with Warhammer because I want to be hopeful for it because Henry Cavill's an executive producer. He's acting in it. He's starring in it. That's awesome. But it's still Amazon. I have hope that they will not screw it up. It is difficult though. Wheel of Time, Rings of Power. I don't want to give them too much credit, but I also want to give them a little bit of credit because of everything they're doing for Cavill. So only time will tell, but I definitely think that there could be a good middle ground with Warhammer that they could reach, as long as, of course, they're listening to consumers, they're listening to Cavill, they're actually giving him some creative control. So yeah, Last topic of the evening is going to be anime. Quickly though, guys, if you're enjoying the live stream, make sure to give it a like. If you're not, give it a dislike. Check out links in the description and the pinned comment. Follow me on social media, Twitter, Minds, BitChute, Odyssey, Getter, join our Discord server, donate, become a member, become a Patreon, all that fun stuff. Thank you for supporting. Let's get into the final topic, which is going to be anime, because the anime industry just posted its highest profits since 2002, which is obviously pretty freaking amazing to hear. Now, of course, every company, every industry faced problems with the pandemic, and a lot of the forecasted numbers for companies and industries were much lower going into 2022 because, of course, industries were down, a lot of the money flow was down, but absolutely shattered expectations. It says, years ago, you might not have expected anime to become a global powerhouse, but that idea has become a reality. I think that anybody who knew even even a little bit, even a sliver of information about the anime industry knew it was going to be a global powerhouse, but okay. In the past few years, the anime industry has grown in scale, and it is making money unlike ever before. With manga on a similar high, all eyes on the industry right now as its end of the year reports are going live, and as it turns out, well, the whole industry just marked its highest profits ever since 2002. As it's going to say, it was predicted that it was going to be like 2 to 3 years for the industry to rebound from the pandemic related losses. Absolutely smashed expectations. It says, according to the report, the animation industry in Japan grew more than 13% year over year in 2022. Now somebody tell me the comic numbers. The comic industry's so dead. I'm sorry. I have to dance on comics' graves. I just have to. I'm sorry. That's mean. This ended up giving the industry earnings upwards of $20.6 billion US, which is pretty big. This number comes after the market shrank slightly in 2021 due to pandemic-related delays. Experts predicted it would take 2 to 3 years for the industry to rebound from the loss, but the anime industry overcame the short in a single year. Loser experts. As for what expanded the industry's profits, AJA reports live entertainment made the most intense comeback year over year. The area jumped nearly 97% since 2021 as pandemic restrictions in Japan have loosened. These rules have been similarly chilled globally, so obviously the anime industry capitalized on return of live entertainment. Now, of course, another report came out talking about the 10 most profitable IPs of 2022 for anime, and there's really nothing on this list that is crazy out of the ordinary. I'm sure most of you guys could, come up with these conclusions on your own, but we are seeing things making big money like Kaizen. We are seeing, of course, Spy X Family. We are seeing One Piece, Tokyo Revengers, Demon Slayer, MHA. So, all things I think we all definitely expected, but the anime industry is doing absolutely amazing right now, posting its highest profits since 2002, which of course I have to give them props for. I love anime. I've said for years the industry is going to keep growing and growing. And well, we're clearly seeing that. But yeah, guys, those are the main topics that I had to discuss tonight. I do have like a smaller topic that we can talk about with Avatar 3. Because of course, James Cameron just knows how to make everybody angry. So I thought that we could chat about this quickly. But yeah, if you guys have any topics you'd like me to discuss, feel free to leave them in chat. Any questions, again, leave them in chat. Yeah, the numbers are quite comical. They are. Comics are booming. Yeah, booming. Woo! DC and Marvel are dead. Oh yeah, they are. You know, I've said it many times. I used to really love comics. I mean, I invest a lot of money in the comics industry and comics in general, but I can't support DC and Marvel anymore. Over the past couple of years, there have been maybe like 2 or 3 things that I have supported. Do you believe Avatar 3 will be 9 hours long? No? There's no way. We heard that for Avatar 2, they had 9 hours of footage, if that's where you're getting the 9 hours from. But we don't know about Avatar 3, but there's no way that they'd release a 9-hour-long movie. People would not go, and it would lose them money. Yes, good indie comics out there now, but for mainstream comics, it's bad. So guys, I thought that we could chat about this really quickly. Avatar 3 will represent fire with the Ash people, James Cameron teased. And this is, in my opinion, a little bit of a problem for multiple reasons. I like Avatar. I've said this before. Avatar 1 was cool. Avatar 2 was better than the first. It was good. It was entertaining, in my opinion. But it says in the early films, there are very negative human examples and very positive Na'vi examples. In Avatar 3, we will do the reverse. I'm sorry, but they are doing everything that is predictable with these films. The fire people are the bad ones, and the humans are gonna be the good ones. I mean, who could have expected? Also, people are pointing out the fact that it's a movie called Avatar about the elements. Where have we seen that before? I just think that there are so many different directions that they could have went with that they didn't go with. I'm someone who likes elements, you know, fire, water, earth, whatever. I think that that's cool, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I mean, it is a little bit shitty. I mean, we're talking about Avatar, about the elements, and of course, classic, the fire people are bad. They're the bad guys, and now the humans are gonna be the good guys. I mean, it's just like, James Cameron isn't great. I'm sorry, don't cancel me. James Cameron is a bit overrated. And I said this when Avatar 2 came out a couple weeks ago. If you gave almost any director like $1 billion and 10 years to work on a movie, most people, I feel, could come up with something as cinematically breathtaking as Avatar. It's just that 99% of the directors and writers, they don't get a decade, $1 billion, you know, the top equipment in the industry, the top talent. That just doesn't happen. I don't know. I like Avatar 1. I thought Avatar 2 was a bit better. I do think, though, that, well, Avatar 3, Avatar 4, Avatar 5, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to say, yeah, wow, this is really cool. I gave the first one a chance. It was different. It was unique. The second one was good, but now I'm hearing more about Avatar 3, like most people, getting kind of a little worn out with the news already. Yeah, Firebender's next. I'm not surprised I'm blocked by Dan Slott for following EVS. Oh yeah, I got blocked by Dan Slott yesterday when I made the video about him. Absolute soy boy. Humans are always the villains because that's the message of every zombie movie and show. Well, yeah, maybe for some genres, but not all genres. Are they going to be surfing in lava flows? I don't know what they're going to do, but they've got to come up with something new. They probably won't, though. Let's be honest. I don't think that we are expecting Avatar 3, to be anything revolutionary. Vera and EVS collaboration, maybe one day. When all you do is flip something, it's not very original, yeah. Blocked again, Vera? I know. I gotta learn to be nice. 2023 is the year of being nice. Even if you're a stupid cuck soy boy bitch, it's the year of just being nice. As long as you're nice to me. So I don't have to be nice to these losers. But yeah, I'm blocked. Dan Slot. I can't say I'm surprised. Honestly, though, I actually am a little surprised because usually these people don't block me because I'm a female. And they're afraid to block me because, of course, it's the classic, you blocked a woman? How could you do that? They don't want to look like they hate women. It's why I was shocked when, like, Jason Schreier blocked me, Dan Slott blocked me. It's a little surprising because most of these people don't block women because they don't want it to be used against them. But everybody used this against him. He blocked a woman. He's a sexist. Vera and Frost collaboration 1. Whenever she hits me up. Will you continue streaming Witcher 1? Yes, we're going to do a full playthrough of Witcher 1. The next stream is going to be Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I will be continuing The Witcher 1 on Thursday, and then, of course, on Saturday and Sunday. They called you cunty? Yeah, Chris Rager called me a cunt or something. Hold on. Varadark. Chris Rager cunts. Cunts. Cuntiness? Hold on. Where's my tweet about it? Oh. This was when he decided to delete the tweets. What a loser. What a loser. If you're gonna say it, at least say it with your chest. Yeah, what did he? Yeah, he deleted it. Wicked. The most traumatic thing in my life is your hair. You are hair, and you are overall cuntiness. It got him 112 likes. 112 likes. You know what? That's a new record for him. I mean, he's been irrelevant for years. That was February 8th last year. Guys, we're gonna have to celebrate. We're gonna have to celebrate. Don't let me forget, February 8th. The anniversary's coming up. Chris, you come on the channel. Come on, man. My cuntiness, it's not, you're not gonna get it. You already have so much of it. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna be wrapping up stream soon, so if you have any last minute questions or topics you want me to discuss, feel free to leave them in chat. He's the definition of soy. He really is. He really is. I mean, he is a soy boy. What's he been doing lately? Huh? What have you been doing lately? Nothing. You retweeted the same thing like 6 times. Brother, we get it. See, this is the problem. Cameo. Whoa. What if it was like he wants like $50 for Cameo or something, and I paid to have him talk about me. Temporarily unavailable. $245. Ain't no way, brother. $25 maximum. That is all. He didn't block you? No, because like I mentioned, a lot of these male soy boys, they don't block me because they don't want the image of blocking a female. Yeah. Chris, who would want a cameo from him? I'd want a restraining order. Actually true. Actually true, though. But yeah, that was one of the highlights of 2022 for me, actually. It really was. Hello, Drew. Hope that your evening is going well. It's, going good over here. But yeah, I'll be wrapping up streaming a few guys. Vera still needs to hire Frosk. If Frosk ever wants to come on the live stream, she is free to. She just has to message me and not put out a fake email account for her agent that she doesn't have. What's Frosk been up to these days? Frosk. What have you been up to lately? Oh, she hasn't posted since November 21st. I'm sure her career's going well. Anyway, Square Enix deserves to be criticized. Yeah, I did talk about Square Enix a little bit ago, and I will be talking about Square Enix in a video tomorrow. The whole situation, I'm gonna bring up some examples of the past things that they've done, and you know, the decisions that they're making now. But I don't know. I wish that Square Enix was better, because I like Square Enix's games. I don't think that they're bad. I just unfortunately don't think that they can really be completely saved at this point. Thank you, Bandit, for the $5 super chat. Geeky Sparkle, is Macarena collaboration when? Who knows? Maybe one day. Never say never. She's too busy looking for a job. Probably. I think that was around the last time that people actually had to talk about her, right? Because, yeah, that was right around the time that she was posting about the Elon Musk stuff and the Henry Cavill stuff. So that had to be right around, yeah, the same time, which is honestly too freaking hilarious. You know, I don't like Frosk, obviously. I've had to talk about Frosk many times. I don't like her opinions. I do not like her personally. I've never talked to her personally, but I've seen enough of her posts to know how she presents herself online. I do not like Frosk. Does that mean, like, I absolutely fucking hate her to her core? No. I mean, she's just another person on the internet, but I don't like her. I do not like her. And, yeah, you know, I don't wish anybody a bad life or anything, but, well, she fucking sucks. Oh, guys, I put it in the supporter chat earlier, but I put it here. Thank you to Trent for donating this, but there is a Lego Orchid set back there. It's right there. I just put it there for now. I don't know when I'm gonna end up building it, because obviously I want to build it, but in the next couple months, I do plan to change streaming setups and rooms. So I'm a little afraid to build, like, Lego sets now. But the thing is like, while I would wait, the problem is that while I intend to move streaming rooms, will that happen, you know, in the next couple of months? I intend for it to happen, but unfortunately, with how much shit has to be moved and rearranged, it is very difficult to do, because there's so much technical equipment, so who knows. But I do have that back there. I just put it there for now while I'm kind of deciding what to do, because I'm going to be changing some of this stuff just for now. Like, the posters are going to be changed in the next, like, week, and, like, all that's going to be changed in the next, like, week. I'm at least going to change up the set a little bit for now, but that's why I haven't really bought anything for the set, because it's, like, all that stuff, I wanted to get, like, display shelves so that, like, I could put books against it and kind of stack books, but I haven't done that yet, because when I change rooms, it's all going to be completely different. Yeah, the moving of shit is traumatic, especially where I have so much technical stuff that needs to be plugged in, needs to be changed, it all needs to be spaced accordingly. I mean, it's a fucking clusterfuck. But thank you, Trent. I did put it in the supporter chat earlier, but I want to show it on stream. We'll see. We'll see. I want to change rooms. Okay? That's the best I can answer right now. Frost killed G4. I don't think that she was the only thing that killed G4. I mean, I've said that many times. She's not the only thing that killed it, but she is one of the major killers of G4. She really, really damaged the G4 reboot. Her, Adam Sessler. Yeah. They're all just not so nice people. Why are we stalking people on Twitter today? Huh? Probably worth reminding that Republican in your life, they own this. I'm sorry, I speak English. First thing he's tweeted in, like, 2 weeks. But I'm assuming it was supposed to be a, haha, I'm owning the Republicans, so... yeah. But, I speak English, so I don't know what that's supposed to say. He's a loser. He's a loser. He's a loser. She was the main thing? Okay. I guess the only thing that I can really say about it is that if they were just putting out bad content, they would have survived. And she was the main thing that caused them to get so much backlash and to be scrutinized so heavily. And of course, she was a major reason why their views tanked. But if it was only her statement, I don't think that they would have died. She put out the first sexism in gaming rant, and then she doubled down like 10 times, and then the hosts publicly supported her, and then Sussler's rants, and then the bad content. I think it all combined obviously killed them, but yes, I do think that she was kind of the main catalyst for their destruction. Sussler came down with TDS bad. Oh, yeah, he's been fucking awful. Yeah, she pushed half the audience to leave. And again, I do think that half the audience would have stayed, that other half would have stayed, if they were putting out good content. They didn't have another, sexism in gaming rant situation, and they just really fucking killed themselves. But it is what it is. G4 is dead. They were dead. They are dead. Maybe they'll reboot themselves for a third time. I highly doubt it, though. But alright, guys. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do really appreciate it. Thank you to the new members. Thank you to the donators, everybody watching. Thank you for hanging out the past hour and 45 minutes. No stream tomorrow because it is Wednesday, but I will be streaming again on Thursday, and then of course on Saturday and Sunday. All 3 of those days we are going to be continuing The Witcher 1. Of course, we're doing a full playthrough, so we'll be continuing that, starting exactly where we left off. Check out links in the description. Follow me on social media, Twitter, Minds, BitChute, Odyssey. Also, join our Discord server. We're very active there, and I do tag you all when I go live, in case YouTube doesn't notify you of the live stream. I didn't upload any videos today, but I did put up videos yesterday, so go and give those a watch. And of course, new videos will be releasing tomorrow, 2 to 3 of them. But yeah, thank you guys for the donations, for the support, for the viewership. I do really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and have a fantastic evening, everyone.